A very good evening to you, and thanks so much for joining us on Up North Live Unscripted at 6:30 on a beautiful Thursday evening all across northern Michigan. Just another day of nice temperatures in the 70s, a lot of blue in the sky. And Ethan, it sounds like we have one more nice day in store, and then things might get a little rainy and then even a little chilly after that.
Yeah, the rain chances we see in this forecast aren't huge by any means, Maya, but they are going to be something we're going to have to pay attention to. But today and even most of tomorrow looking really nice as we continue to see these temperatures in the 70s, some sunshine. There may be a brief sprinkle as you head out the door tomorrow morning, but better chances come tomorrow evening into Saturday morning. The best chance will be in the Upper Peninsula, but we'll be seeing some just minor rain chances Sunday and Monday, as well as the kids get ready to head back to school, as a lot of kids head back Monday or Tuesday of next week. But we'll be seeing temperatures starting to warm up as we head toward the start of football and also Labor Day weekend. So looking pretty nice out there, Maya.
All right, thanks, Ethan. We'll bring you back in after our first commercial break, but let's start off with our top story tonight. A traffic flow change could be coming to an intersection in Antrim County. State Highway M88 cuts through the village of Bel Air, and engineers with the Michigan Department of Transportation say where this highway intersects with Cayuga Street is potentially confusing for drivers who aren't local. Our Allie Baxter spoke with MDOT about an upcoming trial period to test a four-way stop there instead.
We're looking to get ahead of the situation and make improvements before they might become a problem.
A potential problem that could require a change waiting underneath these bags.
We're planning to implement a trial four-way stop at the main intersection of M88, Cayuga Street and Bridge Street in downtown Bel Air. Currently, M88 through traffic does not stop there, and that has the potential for some confusion.
When approaching the village from West Cayuga Street, drivers are greeted with this sign explaining who in the intersection should be stopping and which direction isn't stopping at all.
At times of peak traffic, they may have a tough time finding a gap.
That's only if drivers on M88 understand they don't have to stop here. While filming for this story Thursday, we witnessed multiple instances where M88 drivers would treat this intersection like a four-way stop anyways.
Now, fortunately, we don't have a significant crash pattern right now at this location, but we do observe periods of obvious confusion for drivers where one doesn't know if the other one is going to go. And then we also see pedestrians who are cutting across these intersections even though they don't have marked crosswalks.
If you're a pedestrian trying to get to South Bridge Street from this side of the road, there's no crosswalks to use. Instead, you have to turn around and use one of the crosswalks further into the village to cross the side of the street that does have a crosswalk.
Can't currently have a safe crosswalk in those two legs of the intersection. So introducing a four-way stop means that sometime in the future, we may be able to have more crosswalks, improving both the comfort and safety for pedestrians downtown.
We went to the village offices Thursday. We were told the village police chief would be the best person to explain the village's concerns with potentially changing the intersection permanently. Multiple attempts were made to contact him. We didn't receive a response by airtime.
Initially, when we discussed it with the village, we heard some concerns, particularly about that peak traffic. That actually coincides when the periods when pedestrian traffic is at its peak. So we're looking to find a balance with this trial that balances the safety and the traffic flow through the community. If it does not achieve the goals that we're after, then we can put it back to the way it was.
In Antrim County, Allie Baxter, Up North Live News.
And the four-way trial period starts August 27th. It doesn't have an end date just yet. Our next story takes us to the eastern Upper Peninsula, where responding quickly and working together was the goal of a huge emergency response drill in Mackinac County. Up North Live's Mary Jane Glynn was there and tells us why today was so important.
Today we are doing a tabletop exercise with a large conglomerate group of people from the local, state, and federal levels that would take part in an emergency response or a potential emergency response to an oil spill in the Mackinac County area in what we call the Cut River area and affecting into the northern Lake Michigan area.
Today is about learning what these agencies have to offer, what resources are available, and what its role would be if an incident like this happened.
So Enbridge focuses and prioritizes safe operations. And in the unlikely event of a release, we do have an enormous cache of response equipment that we would deploy in the area to respond to a spill. These are important because we have this opportunity to collaborate with all these additional agencies that are going to come to the table and be really key factors in a spill response.
Today, I got to talk with somebody who is working with some technology in terms of being able to detect oil underneath the water, just look using sensors to see how oil may have distributed through the water column. So that's just great to be aware of technologies like that exist.
And in any large response like what was simulated today, communication is key.
So these are doing a lot of what ifs, thinking about the response capabilities that are here, how that response would go, but also how we would coordinate that response with safety of the responders, safety of the public, and addressing environmental concerns from a situation such as this one.
Lieutenant Snyder says the Department of Homeland Security tasked the Coast Guard with planning these trainings.
So we are currently in year 2 of a 4-year planning cycle, which leads up to a full-scale exercise. Next year, we're going to be conducting what's known as a functional exercise. That's going to be looking at actually getting equipment deployed, working through the final motions to understand how we can be best prepared for an emergency scenario. And the year after that, looking at sometime in summer of 2027, we're going to be conducting what's known as a full-scale exercise.
In St. Ignace, Mary Jane Glenn, UpNorthLive News.
All right, let's take a look at our question of the day related to Mary Jane Glenn's story that you just saw there. How concerned are you about a potential oil spill in the Great Lakes? Scan the QR code on your screen right now to vote. You can also head over to our Facebook page to leave a comment. As of right now, we have 245 votes. And it's pretty split between very concerned and not concerned. We'll take a look at those results toward the end of the show and read a few of your comments. But our guest tonight on UpNorthLive Unscripted, she may look familiar if you follow the UpNorthLive Instagram page. If you don't, this may be your first time meeting Ellie DeLude. She is a content creator and influencer, and we are so happy to have her on Unscripted tonight. Hey, Ellie.
Hi, Maya. How are you?
I am good. It's so great to see you in a bit of a different scene. Normally we see each other when we're walking our dogs around our apartment complex, so it's nice to be in a little more of a professional setting.
Great to see you.
All right, so Ellie, I know you do a lot. You have a partnership with UpNorthLive, which I want to get into more in a second, but you also wear a lot of other hats. So tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Absolutely. So my name is Ellie DeLude. First and foremost, I'm a wife and a dog mom. So I'm a wife to Jack and a dog mom to Archie, my golden retriever. During the day, I am the marketing director of Fustini's Oils and Vinegars. So that's where I spend the majority of my time. But in my free time, I am, posting content, filming my life with Jack and Archie and our adventures in northern Michigan. And that's what my life looks like outside of Fustini's.
And you also have a side business, right?
Yes, I do. I own Archie's Dog Co., which is an e-commerce business. And in 2024, we were TikTok's #1 live streaming dog treat business. So we keep busy over here, but we have a lot of fun. And obviously, digital marketing is my passion.
So when did you start taking videos and photos of your life and sharing them online?
Honestly, it started back during COVID, and then I transitioned into getting a social media role with Cheer Republic, and I was filming for them. And then I was like, if I can do this for companies, I can do this for my life. And I wanted to start making side income through it. So that's what I started doing. And over the last year, I would say has been how I've grown my following the most, which has been really exciting. So I'm happy to be here with UpNorthLive and talk more about the partnership we've been doing as well.
Yeah, so what exactly is the partnership? I know I've seen some videos that you post and tag UpNorthLive in, but again, for folks who maybe haven't seen our Instagram collabs yet, what exactly is your role with UpNorthLive?
Yeah, so you guys brought me on and it's been super fun. I'm basically just showing the hidden gems of Northern Michigan, specifically Traverse City. This weekend, we're doing a really cool partnership up in Sault Ste. Marie, which we maybe can talk more on later, but make sure to follow along so you can see our adventures up there. But basically, we're just here to show you guys more about Northern Michigan, why it's such an inviting place to live, travel, and visit. And that's why I've been brought on board.
And I think when some people hear the phrase influencer, they might think, oh, it's someone who's trying to convince me to buy a product or do this and that. But it sounds like from your content, you're just trying to spread the word of how great Northern Michigan is, right?
Yes, I will say beauty and fashion is not my category that I influence in. I'm definitely more of a lifestyle and travel influencer. So, and honestly, a foodie, Jack, and I love to eat. So if you follow along with me, you're going to see a lot of times the places we're eating at. So we just love to share the joy of Northern Michigan, why we live here, and why it is such a special place.
And what are some of the highlights since you have become a content creator and influencer here in Northern Michigan? Sounds like you've had a lot of amazing opportunities. What are some of the best ones you've had so far?
I think the coolest opportunity I've had is just being able to give back to the community when a new restaurant opens up, a new coffee shop, a new place to go visit. I'm oftentimes called in to go and promote them and try and honestly make my video go viral for them to start getting foot traffic in their doors. So being able to help new businesses in Northern Michigan has been really rewarding for me and super valuable.
So when you do post a video, let's say on Instagram, and you're at maybe a restaurant or a business, we're only seeing it from one side of after you've probably maybe edited a bit and posted it. Are there anything, is there anything on the other side that like maybe behind the scenes that we really don't get to see? Like what is it actually like going somewhere and filming yourself doing this experience?
I think that's what's so unique about my content is I never tell a restaurant or a coffee shop that I'm coming. So you'll oftentimes, you know, if you were to watch me, my husband and I will sit up at like 2 bar seats and I'll be stuffing my face with spaghetti right in front of me. So I think that's what makes it kind of fun. It's super organic, authentic, and it's not your typical influencer vibe. So it's been really fun to dive into that.
And so you mentioned earlier that you're about to go on a trip to Sault Ste. Marie this weekend. What's that all about? What are you going to be doing there?
Yes. So in partnership with UpNorthLive and the Sault Ste. Marie Visitors Bureau, Jack, Archie, and I are taking a trip up to Sault Ste. Marie to show you guys why it's such an enticing place to visit. I think what's so unique for this trip for me is I've been a Michigander my whole life and I've never been to Sault Ste. Marie.
Oh my gosh.
So you guys are going to be seeing it firsthand through my eyes as well. So we're going to be golfing with freighter views. We're going to be paddleboarding, going to all the dog-friendly dining restaurants, staying at the Ash Hotel. And we're just really excited to bring you guys along with us. So you'll be seeing collaborations between me, UpNorthLive, the Visitors Bureau, and I'm really excited to shine light on Sault Ste. Marie and show that it's a great place to visit.
That is so exciting, and I can't believe you've never been to Sault Ste. Marie before.
I'm excited. I know Jack and Archie are as well.
So you mentioned that a lot of the work you do is around the Traverse City area, but now you are going to Sault Ste. Marie. Do you have plans in the future to travel to other areas around Northern Michigan as well?
Absolutely. So I know that we're working with visitor bureaus all around Michigan to try to highlight their spaces. So we're excited about that. I'm thinking Gaylord, Paskky. I'm up at Mullet Lake often at my family's cabin. So we're doing Indian River area a lot. So we're all over the place. And, we'd love to continue working with more visitor bureaus across the state.
And are you able to see the impact that you're making by posting these videos in different cities or at different restaurants? Can you tell that maybe more people are now heading to that city or that restaurant? Do you get a lot of feedback about that?
For sure. I think that's been the best part is the testimonies after of like, oh my gosh, I had no idea you were coming to my restaurant. Your video got, 200,000 views and we are booked for the next 2 weeks, and I think that's what's so exciting for me. It's not about the likes. It's not about the followers. It's like, wow, I'm helping these small businesses. We are helping UpNorthLive and me, these small businesses take off and really get a place in the community. And that's the power of social media. So I think there's a super positive side of influencing and it doesn't always have to be the sales side of it. And that's what's been so fun.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Ellie, is there anything else you want to say in about 30 seconds about what you do that we haven't talked about yet?
I don't think so. I would just say make sure to follow me, Ellie Delude, on Instagram and TikTok, and also UpNorthLive, so you can always see all of our adventures. Also, I'm always open to taking suggestions or invites on places we should go and visit. So make sure to DM us and invite us in, and we'd love it to come to your restaurant or city to visit. So, and thank you, Maya, so much for having me on tonight. This was a pleasure.
Thank you so much for being here, Ellie. We really appreciate you and your time. We are out of time, though, for our first segment of the show. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back in just a couple of minutes. Have much more on your Friday forecast. Stay with us.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.
It was another gorgeous day across northern Michigan. It sounds like tomorrow will be another repeat, but maybe with a little bit of rain. Ethan, who could see rain tomorrow and when?
That's right, Maya. We'll be seeing a few showers try to move through in the early morning hours, and then again late tomorrow evening into Saturday morning. That's mainly going to be affecting our UP communities, but we don't have to deal with it tonight. We have a nice night out there in Paskky and across northern Michigan as we see temperatures right now into the mid 70s, a west-south wind at 3 miles per hour. And you'll see this is our drone video from Frankfort in Benzie County. A beautiful scene there with those clouds, the water. Oh man, just absolutely breathtaking out there today. And hopefully you got out to enjoy it. If you didn't, you have one more nice day. Satellite and radar does show a few more clouds out there this evening, but they are trying to break apart as we lose the daytime heating. We'll see on Stormcast that clouds will stay out of the region for most of the night tonight, but then by the time we get toward about 10, 11 o'clock, we may start to see some clouds move back into the northern end of the UP, but most of us in the lower peninsula still going to stay under clear skies until we get to about 4 o'clock in the morning. We'll start to see a few showers try to move into the UP, but we'll see more clouds start to roll in by 7 or 8 a.m. for those of us closer to M55 and US 10, but then by the time we get to later in the day on Friday, we'll see some more thicker clouds move in for everybody by the time we get toward the dinner hour. So starting to see some showers move toward our western areas in the UP by about 7 o'clock or so, and Luce and Mackinac counties. That will continue to weaken as it moves to the east. Those of us in the lower peninsula really not going to see a whole lot from this weekend, mostly staying dry. A stray shower cannot be ruled out into Saturday, but most of us will stay under partly to mostly sunny skies. We'll be seeing those rainfall amounts will be highest in the UP, where a few areas may get a third to perhaps a half an inch of rain. The majority of us won't see hardly anything at all. And temperatures right now are very pleasant out there in the 70s, very seasonal for this time of year, as well as we should be in the mid to upper 70s for this part of August. We do see increasing clouds for the Cedar Polka Fest tomorrow. That's in Cedar and Leelanau County, where we'll see temperatures in the 80s for Friday, back into the upper 70s for Saturday with some scattered showers and storms. That's mostly going to be morning chances on Saturday, mostly evening chances on Sunday. 71 for that temperature on Sunday. We'll see those temperatures into the 60s to the north tonight, lower 50s as we head further to the south, and then to the west, some upper 50s to near 60 degrees, and then a little bit cooler for those southern areas with more fog possible, upper 70s to the north tonight, and then low 80, or for tomorrow rather, low 80s as we head further to the south to the west, just a touch cooler where we see some more cloud cover, and then mid 80s to our south. And your extended forecast shows some more shower and storm chances as we head into early next week, but we'll warm up later in the week.
All right, Ethan, thank you so much for that. We're going to take another quick break, but don't go anywhere just yet. Sports is next. Stay with us. We are continuing our countdown to kickoff this time today with a look at Paskky's football team. For more on that, let's turn things over to Sports Director Harrison Beebe. Hey, Harrison.
Yeah, Maya, what a time it is as we count down to 7 days now until kickoff next Thursday night. I already have your game scheduled for next week. I have my game scheduled. We won't reveal that on the air just yet, but we're already looking into next Thursday. But before we do that, we want to hone in on our camp previews, and that includes Paskky today. The Northmen losing a lot of guys from last year, all their seniors, 27 in all, and all their starters. But as head coach Jim Webb told me, they're still pretty optimistic about how this year's going to go.
You know, we graduated 27 seniors. There were 22 starters out of the 27 seniors, so you don't really replace that. It's the first time it's happened to me in almost 40 years, so you know, that's something you don't replace. But they were also good leaders for this group that we got coming up this year, no doubt about it. The nice thing last year is because of some of the scores, these guys got to play in quite a few varsity games, so it isn't like they're completely inexperienced or anything else. We don't necessarily have that one player that, you know, last year Corbin was a beast out there, and teams tried to focus on him, but we had enough supporting staff to get him where he needed to go. This year we just got to be more of a complete team, and I think we're going to be able to do that. That's what our focus is.
You being probably the veteran of this conference, what would you like to see this conference change?
Well, you say that after 3 years. I don't know what's going on around here, but yeah, absolutely. This has been crazy with all the coaches changes this year and stuff. Kind of miss the Traverse Cities, to be honest with you, and I do. I mean, we had great games with them down in Cadillac, and I miss playing them, and if we could get one of them back on the schedule, I don't necessarily need two, but I'd take one of them back on our schedule in a heartbeat. So if anybody's out there listening, we'll play one of you. But no, you know, other than that, it's a competitive league. We have some good coaches in the league. This year we got some new coaches, so we'll see where that takes us. But there's some good coaches in the league and some really good athletes. You know, from Marquette's got players at Central Michigan, and you know, the D1 players, as Sault Ste. Marie, I think, sent a kid to Northwestern, and so there's good athletes in this league. You got to be well coached and prepared, or you'll get beat.
Yeah, the Big North Conference, one of the biggest conferences up here, and no doubt one of the more intriguing ones to see how all the dominoes fall.
All right, Harrison, thank you so much for the latest preview of the Paskky Northmen. Let's take a quick commercial break, but coming up next, we'll check out the live results for our question of the day and read a few of your comments. You're watching UpNorthLive Unscripted.
Salon services are furnished by Epiphany Advanced Academy in East Acme.
Well, several agencies came together in Mackinac County today for an emergency response drill to a hypothetical oil spill. So our question of the day today is, how concerned are you about a potential oil spill on the Great Lakes? You can see the results. It looks like 37% are saying not concerned, 32% are very concerned. A few folks there in the middle. Over on Facebook, a lot of comments. Mark says, I am concerned. I think the pipeline and tunnel are needed. A different Mike says concerned. Brent says build the tunnel, and Scott says a necessary risk. So you can join the conversation over on our Facebook page, but we are all out of time here on Unscripted. We hope to see you back here at 11 o'clock tonight. Thanks for joining us.